What's up, everybody? It's your boy Z the Barber here to welcome you guys to a very special episode, our very first episode of Barber Code, our
I still love
podcast
that.
where we come to you and talk about all the knowledges that we've obtained through our careers. You know, a couple like paraphrases here and there,
Yeah, do's and
yeah,
don'ts.
do's and don'ts, but
Things we're still learning.
things we're still learning. And we coming to you live from NY Style Barbershop, Forest Park, Georgia, ATL.
The one and only.
What's happening, ATL, man? I love it being out here.
And you know what? Well, I'm Coco. I'm the creator of Mobile Makeup ATL, half of Barber Code, and just so many other things in the making. I love hair. I love every aspect of it and makeup. So I do everything. I've been doing hair for 8 years now. I've been licensed for a year, a solid year, a little over a year. And I've enjoyed every minute of it.
So you're like a styling connoisseur.
Very, ooh, okay, I like
Okay.
that. The Jackie of all trades.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just wanted to really start podcasting because I felt like my experiences, there's something to be said for them, and just all the things that I encounter being a female barber at that, in a very male dominated field. And I just want to know if there's anybody else that feels the way I feel out there.
That's what's up. Like I said, it's your boy Z the Barber. I've been doing my thing for about 15 years now. Yeah,
Blowing me out of the water.
I've been putting in a lot of work, a lot of trial and error to get to the point where I'm really comfortable with my craft, performing my craft. I did it in a time where, the era was changing. It went from the regular old school barbershop. Everything was communicated hand by hand.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Saying cheek by cheek. You know,
Very
nowadays,
hands-on.
transitioned into the social networking era. So I seen both those times, the one come and go. I don't really think the old school style went anywhere. It
I
just more or
agree.
less elaborated on.
Yeah, I was just about to say that because we learn all the time that the best way to market yourself is word of mouth.
Yeah,
Honestly,
yeah, yeah.
that's always been the best way.
And
So,
the barbershop reigned supreme in that era.
Facts.
Like with the word of mouth,
facts. I
word
agree.
travels.
Yeah, I agree. And I feel like it's the same concept for any hairstylist or any barber. It's like, you go somewhere, people got to get to know you, they got to know you exist, and then they got to see how good you are. And then they have to really check you out as a person.
Yeah.
I feel like sometimes personalities don't mesh, even though, a haircut's good or whatever it is. It's just so many aspects to getting a service. And I think that there's so many different markets out there. If you just sit still wherever you are, whatever you do, you stay consistent and you better your craft, you're going to get that clientele. You're going to get those numbers you're looking for. Because if you stay put, people know where to find you. People know where to look for you. People know what you do if you're consistently doing that. So,
Yeah, my take on that is, I've been well grounded in the barbershop that I worked in when I was in New York. The longest I worked in a single barbershop was for about 10 years.
nice.
So it was like you just said, just staying grounded, being consistent. And I think ultimately what you're doing is establishing an equity and trust, amongst your clientele, amongst your barbershop. And in turn, it feeds your craft, it feeds your profession.
I agree.
But then again, for me, like I just said, I worked in New York, and I've been in my shop for 10 years. Now I'm here in the ATL, so it's like, damn, Z, you changed. Scenery's
Yes.
changed, and this change was necessary in evolution. You know what I'm saying? In the evolution
Right.
of me.
Higher levels, right?
Yeah.
Right.
That was one of like the worst parts about leaving New York, is leaving behind all of the relationships I established, and
I know. All the
clients I established,
yeah.
and
You
those clients
definitely
become friends.
Yes, you
you know.
definitely get attached to some of your clients, especially if they're regulars.
Yeah,
You see
but
them all the time.
For the
See their
most part,
kids.
the guys that I hold near and dear, my clients, they showed me love, and they knew what the change was about. They knew it was evolution,
Right.
and they respected it. And that's like the dopest aspect about this whole transition for me. It's like I was able to evolve, and there was no tears shed.
Right.
It was
And that's always good to be met with love, you know,
Yeah.
when you're just talking about bettering yourself and moving forward. It's always appreciated to have like clients that understand that. Because I remember I worked at a call center for a salon, and at the salon, you sort of complete training to move up a level. And so for that reason, your services go up in price. And there was one woman that moved up a level, I guess, at the salon, and someone wasn't, or I guess was not willing to pay for that extra charge, and she was just really mad at the whole operation. She was like, well, so you can't get your haircut there unless you're rich. And I was just like, what? Like, it doesn't, I didn't understand that part of it.
Yeah.
But no, it's not an absurd pricing. But I was also telling her, like, I can't tell this woman to stay where she is and price just to feed your specific needs. You know, you're one person, and this is also somebody else's entire life here. So maybe she does not want to stay at, you know, $50 a haircut, whatever her price is. Maybe she wants to go up to $75. And yeah, my thing is like, don't crap on the whole operation just because you're unsatisfied or dissatisfied, about this one aspect. Yes, you can still get your haircut here. You just can't go to her anymore. Or you're just going to have to pay a little bit of extra cheese on top. And that's okay. I feel like you do always lose 20% of your clientele when you go up in price and when you do certain things that make you better as a whole. So honestly, it's good to be met with love when you want to move up and when you want to do things, because it could go so many other ways. You know, people could be really upset about not getting that haircut anymore, or not even going to the same place that you're at. Like, people get really spoiled. Your clients get really spoiled behind that. So it's always good to be consistent too.
Yeah. I feel like that comes from the idea that people get used to certain things, and once you start to like change that scenery, they get uneasy. You know, it's like the world is falling.
zone.
You know what I'm saying? It's falling around them, so they
That's
lose that comfort zone.
Right.
And I don't know. I think that's a good place for a barber to exist in somebody's life. Like, this is my barber. This is where I want to go. This is how I want my haircut. That's dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, and men are very adamant about that.
Yeah,
you know,
extremely
they find a
adamant.
good barber, they kind of stay put.
Yeah. How you feel like that being a female barber?
I like that I am able to tap into that. I like that I have people that love the way I do what I love to do. I really can appreciate that there's a market for literally everyone, and it just is a constant reminder to me that you stay consistent, build your craft, and help people understand what you're about. And I have found people that like that.
Yeah. Has being a female barber worked against you in any way, shape, or form?
Worked against me. I can't say that about being a female, because it's not like I can change it. You know, there's nothing that not that I would even want to. You know, I wouldn't want to change whatever it is that deflected me from whoever, because I just feel like I still meet every client the same way. I still take those same precautions and those same like nice things that I do. I still take that extra mile as far as customer service is concerned. So it never makes me feel like, dang, well, I'm gonna stop. I think one of those things was saying hello to customers or clients when they walk in. I think maybe that's one of the things. I don't think that being a woman kind of hindered me, but I think men are sometimes silent because they don't want to offend, because it's a new thing, you know, seeing this woman in a barber shop every day now. It's just like, wow, I didn't expect that. So I think it's just always best for them to be like, I'm just not going to say anything.
Yeah, but that works out for you in the long run, because the more they come back, the more they see you working. It's like, oh, wow, she really is a barber. Like,
right, which it has.
Yeah.
Which it definitely has. I think now a lot of people are still like, oh, hey, boss lady. Or, hey, how you doing, miss? Which before, they would just running around deafing up the entire barbershop. And I'm just like, okay.
Nobody probably thought of you as a barber. You're more like a stylist.
I'm a moving piece in this operation.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Right.
Making headways.
I appreciate the respect that I gained, you know, and I got tough skin. I don't take everything, you know, completely to heart. Like, oh, these men, they did this and they did that. I just really think about it as this is new stimulus, you know, to their environment. It's just something that they didn't expect. And now they're kind of getting used to it. It's up to me to kind of make that a staple.
Okay.
It's not up to them to just accept whatever the hell comes
Yeah,
upon
yeah,
them. You know,
definitely.
it's like, I've been coming here longer than you have, miss, you know, well, to their knowledge, you know. So it's like, they never seen me before.
Yeah.
They don't know who I am or what I do. So I'm kind of stampeding on their whole comfort zone. So I like to meet them halfway. Because you already have these mixed feelings about the environment. You're just kind of expecting someone to disrespect you. And for me, I would just rather just be like, huh? What? I would rather be surprised by that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be expecting it or looking for it, because I think it sets me up to just be in a situation where I'm just too sensitive, you know. I'm just wanting to be outraged. I think people who think negatively have that backing, like, or have that energy. They just want to be mad about something, and I don't like to carry that type of energy with me, because I think it reflects badly on my craft.
Right.
I think it reflects badly on how I interact with clients, because if I'm looking for someone new, if I just, you know, I'm just getting into the shop and I'm trying to build clientele and I need those walk-ins, I don't want the, you know, entire, you know, basis around my attitude being like, oh, well, she just mad at the world, or she just this, or she just that. You know, all those stigmas that they already put on women.
Right.
So it's just kind of like, I want to really take all of that, erase all of those little things that people think that they know about women. And I would love to be the liaison between what people think they know and what actually is.
Yeah. I believe that's a dope concept for being any form of a businessman, is when approaching business, like, shed the skin of the gender, shed the skin of your own ideas, and wear the uniform and be a serviceman.
I agree.
With doing that, like, people have no choice but to accept you for what you are in said field, you know. I think a lot of people so far, if, you know, it sounds like we talking in the third person about Coco's work ethic.
Oh.
No, she actually works in the barbershop over here, NY Style Barbershop, holding it down with us over here. And I've watched her growth from the moment she come in up until today, and it's like the transition is surreal, you know. It's not surreal in essence to I don't know exactly what the path is, but it's almost like watching a caterpillar cocoon itself and emerge a butterfly. That's always going to be a beautiful sight. And when you see somebody go from amateur barber to advanced, it's that's a dope journey.
And I really love it. Yeah, I witness. Because I'm witnessing it. You know, I'm just seeing the proof in the pudding. You know, and it's really good. It feels good to be.
And that's what I preach for the most part. It's like, you know, I can tell you, I can show you, or I can tell you which one you want me to do. You know, and I'd rather show you.
Exactly. I agree.
You know.
And I think it attests to a lot of things. I think consistency is so important, especially in a booth rental dynamic of a shop, especially just as a business owner. There's so many areas that it affects your consistency as a barber and your seriousness as a barber or hairstylist.
What's your perspective? Because I know you had the opportunity to work under both umbrellas, booth rental and commission.
So my perspective, I feel like people who work in a commission salon or barbershop can sometimes have too much time on their hands. I feel like when the business
from the barber's
is booming,
perspective?
From the barber's perspective, yes, or hairstylist
Okay.
Perspective, I think they can kind of have too much time on their hands and lose sight of what they're doing it for. I feel like at the end of the day, you care about this craft to the point where you want to get good at it. And you want to continue to be, you know, of great service to all your clients. And I think when things get too big to fail, it kind of puts people in a negative energy. So I experienced a lot of negative energy, not so much from me or people not liking me, but so much about like people complaining about their job all the time, people complaining about their lifestyle all the time, people just like, oh, I've just lost my passion. Oh my God, I heard that too many times. I feel in one place somebody saying that they lost all passion for hair or whatever their craft is. It's really discouraging as a new hairstylist to know that people who have been doing it for 10 years at this level, or people who have been, you know, just building and now being on the other side of the come up, now actually being up and being able to maintain a decent clientele, it's like they don't want to do hair anymore, or it's like they don't have the passion for it anymore because there's so much going on. And I feel that with booth rental, I have more freedom to kind of say like, hey, I need a vacation, versus the whole putting in for vacation at a booth rental salon and expecting to be here, these days. It's like it kind of puts you in the form of an employee, because there's so many moving pieces.
Right.
And I am not an employee, or I don't consider myself to be in that mindset. It just does not work well with me. The dynamic doesn't work well with me at all. So I appreciate them both, but in the end, I think booth rental is something that resonates more with me than a commission salon.
Yeah. So you're saying you feel like the commission way of life sort of puts a strenuous weight on your back,
Right.
being a stylist or barber.
I agree. I feel like it can, especially if the franchise is pretty big. Because, as someone who is starting it, of course you want it to be as big as it's going to get. And, of course, you want it to be very successful. And then I feel like on the terms of working under your umbrella, in the terms of working for your shop, there are certain things that have to happen, and I think that those things just kind of slip through the cracks once the business gets too big.
Yeah.
So say for instance you have another location for NY Style Barbershop, and you're trying to get all those things together. You do kind of have to have somebody run your other operations just to make sure that things are running smoothly, or whatever. But say for instance that person does not have the same type of value for your employees or for your workspace or just for the camaraderie in general. So the other location is suffering essentially because of this one person or this moving piece. You know, some people just don't feel the same way you feel about your business.
Right.
And I think that was really the issue, that there were just a lot of moving pieces that weren't catering to the stylist.
Okay.
This is supposed to be their passion and supposed to feel, I've always felt like I was in a good mood just coming to work and doing hair. I never felt like it was work. And then I kind of caught myself circling around that negative energy and saying these little things that I can't stand. And now I'm talking about how so-and-so really said that. It's just like, that's not me, and that's not what I want to do when I decided to do hair. That wasn't what I got into it for. And really, that was what turned me off from the 9 to 5. The gossiping, the constant, drama that people create amongst themselves versus actually having drama. So I was just like,
Well, being at the barbershop, like we said, a lot of information is being passed. You are working with different personalities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There's always going to be disagreements or, altercations
Oh,
or whatever, so have
definitely.
you. I would say like that's sort of the same volatile, quote unquote, environment that
oh yeah, that's very true.
commission lifestyle would create. Just because you're working so close with different people, different personalities.
Right.
Throughout my study in barbering, I've seen so many different people come and go, different personalities, different ways of walks of life, and
Right.
it's just astounding the amount of people, and it led me down the path of changing my thought about barbering, because it wasn't until somebody told me that barbering they didn't think was a real job, and then I started to really look at how I was making money in the environment in which I was making money, and how can I use that to grow. I guess grow in the idea that they say a doctor could reach or a lawyer could reach. I feel like barbers could reach. And especially with the growing social media popularity of barbering, you seeing that right before your eyes. Like guys are going from regular mom and pop store barbershops to these like celebrity style barbers, and it's like I said, the journey to watch that is it's amazing.
Exactly.
And these guys telling you that, the barbershop barbering isn't a real job. It made me stand back and look at it. So, different personalities come and go. Me being one of those personalities, I decided to stick with it because I got this piece of jewel from one of the instructors at ABI, American Barber Institute, where I got my barbering license. He said, you always want to stay rooted in the barbershop that you work in, because consistency is key. You uproot yourself, you're going to have to uproot your entire life, your finance, everything. So I applied that to myself. And what I got back in return is a saying that I go by. I say, barbering will not only define you as a barber, but barbering will define you as an individual.
Oh, is that a Barber Code jewel? Is that Barber Code?
That right there is where Flex drops bombs.
Sorry.
You know what I'm saying? Barber Code, real talk. Barbering will not only define you as a barber, but it will define you as an individual,
Facts.
because you will really see the type of individual that you blossom into. Barbering is going to show you if you're good with your money. Barbering is going to show you if you're a people person. Barbering is going to show you how well you manage your time. Barbering is going to show you if you're a worker or if you're a boss.
Exactly.
Barbering is going to show you so many different things, and it's going to reveal to you, and you have to be honest when you come to that revelation. That's going to be the end or be or that separates you from the losers and the winners. Now, I don't really want to think about anybody as losing or winning, but from success or failure,
Right.
There's no harm in failure. Failure just teaches you the lessons, and you want to get back on that horse, you do so. But first and foremost, that's the lessons that you're going to learn, and you just want to take it step by step. You know what I'm saying? Don't rush yourself. Don't have false judgments. Don't have assumptions.
Right.
Live the life.
Don't
Get the
think you know
information.
everything.
Exactly. Get the information, and keep on pushing.
I agree.
Um,
And for me, and I also want to kind of touch on like the dynamic and negative energy, because negative energy can also circulate anywhere. It can definitely circulate in a booth rental salon, because some people believe that the marketing aspect of the booth rental salon should be done by the salon, and that is not true. It should, honestly, you should never expect your place of business to completely promote you, because there's so many other components that come into having and owning a barbershop or salon. So you definitely want to promote yourself, because at the end of the day, this is your business. This is what you're bringing to the table.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be the one to tell people what you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people sometimes miss the mark on that. They think that they're supposed to come into a business that's already booming and take all of the walk-in profit, and it's
Right.
just, it's perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
And then they see, other people with people in their chairs, people who have invested time, and people who also, people know their face.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, if I've been here for 6 months, 9 months, and you're coming in 3 weeks into the game, you can't expect to have the same type of rotating clientele that I have. This has come with time, and it's come with consistency. It's not magic. It's not, prejudice. It's not somebody like somebody else. It's not really like that. It's more so a matter of, this is my business, so I'm treating it like such, and I'm promoting properly and doing all the things that I need to do to keep my business going. And you have to do the same.
Yeah.
I think the best thing to do, honestly, is ask for feedback. If you see a lot of people around you with, crazy chairs, everybody's sitting in their chair, and you're not really getting it, ask them, what do they do? Ask them the type of things, instead of assuming that it's the barbershop, or assuming that it's where you are, because I guarantee you that it's not. You can make money anywhere.
Yeah.
As long as you stay put.
Yeah.
And but that negative energy can really kind of circulate if things are slow. People do kind of complain about, this or that. But I always take this as an opportunity to dive into other aspects of my business.
Yeah.
I'm constantly thinking about my business and how I can monopolize, and how I can also take advantage of every situation that I'm in.
Yeah.
Not just thinking about like, oh, sometimes I'm up, sometimes I'm down. That is not really the dynamic. It's more so like, what should I be doing right now, since I can't do X, Y, and Z? Let me figure out what else I can do to help my
Yeah.
business. Like, constantly think about bringing the business up.
Definitely peel back the layers of your business. See what it is that you can change. See what it is that you can do better. There's a lot of references that you can take from. There's a lot of people out there making headway, making good trails.
Yes, so many people.
That you can just step into those footsteps and follow.
I agree.
There's definitely some great examples out there, and that's the premise of Barber Code for me, is to lay down some of those breadcrumbs for people who come after me, or
Right,
or
I
during the
agree.
time that I'm cutting, or even before me, because old dogs can learn new tricks also.
Facts.
Some people aren't leaving this information available, so I feel like
And I can't stand that.
Yeah, I feel like it's just I have to do it.
Yes.
I want to do it.
I feel like the same. I feel like I'm the same way when it comes to the responsibility of sharing information, whatever it is. I'm just somebody who knows a little bit about certain things, but I'm definitely willing to spread whatever knowledge I have to whoever's asking, whoever's willing to listen. I really can't stand when people treat their success story like it's some type of hidden secret or it's something that they gotta sell you, or something like that. I mean, I definitely understand leveling up in your own business and monopolizing wherever you can. But in general, I think if someone, just happens to really have a question about whatever you're going through and you can see that they were where you are, I feel like lend them that information, help them understand what it really takes. Because I have a lot to say about the process, but I've only been doing it for a very short amount of time, and I'm already seeing what it could be, what I could really create, and what I could really do, and the numbers that are really out there.
Yeah.
So of course I'm gonna start, telling you what I know, sharing whatever knowledge I just found out, because I want more people to be able to experience that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I want more people to be able to get on the other side of the come up. More people to get on to a routine with your, whatever it is, with whatever craft you decide to take up, getting on a routine and really like generating revenue from things that you love to do. That has always been a dream, and now I'm living it, I'm figuring it out every day. And there's no switch you flip, where you're automatically at $1 million. People have been at this for years. People have been understanding, and trying to peel back those layers of their businesses. This is what bosses do. This is your business. You don't just play this one part to provide the service. It's so many other hats that you have to wear, especially when you're in a booth rental situation or you're in a situation where you have a salon suite, because you're assuming complete responsibility over your finances.
Right.
And over all types of other aspects that some places do for you. So please understand that.
So in essence, assume the position of being a barber. If you're going to be a barber, put that jacket on, be the profession.
It's another jewel.
Don't half-ass it, you know what I'm saying? Real talk. That's going to be the difference. Failure, success.
Yes. Yeah, honestly, it's that simple. And a lot of people are like, no, it's not. But they've only been consistent for 3 days.
Yeah.
I can't stand when people do that, a very short commitment to whatever it is that they want to do.
Yeah.
And then they blame all these reasons for why it's not working.
You have to expect some downtime in barbershops. Like, look at real people's lives out here. The people are working. They have families. They go on vacation. You might not see them for a week or two. They move away. Yeah, definitely. People move in.
They die.
That's what
It is kind of morbid to think about, but those are things that happen.
These are real life situations that you can't control.
Yeah.
And you just have to be aware of those situations and use those downtime opportunities to really change the dynamic of your business.
Right. And you can sometimes model your aesthetic off of people that you look up to. You can really comb through their, not so much their game plan, but just so much comb through the way that they market, how they're marketing, who they're marketing to, the way that they're doing it. Like, stalk these people. They have enough social media. They have enough, marketing out there to where you can really try to hone in on what you think that they're doing. Try to figure out what you think that they have going on, whatever aesthetic you want to adopt.
Yeah.
I think it's important because they're not the first person to do it either.
Right. So, don't rely too much on anybody else to get your situation moving.
Right.
Look at yourself. We got a lot of mirrors in the barbershop.
Yes.
Take any perspective that you want and look at that person in the reflection and say, what do I need to do better?
Thanks.
And make those changes. And guarantee you that success is on the other side of that fear, that thought. You'll get to where you want to be. Just wear the jacket.
Right, exactly. Assume that responsibility. Not even so that's a part of the position. The responsibility. These are in your job descriptions. I feel like that's something that I used to say all the time when I back when I worked at retail. I'm like, that is not in my job description. This is not in my job description. You don't pay me enough for this, and the other. Well, in this particular situation, all of this is included in your job description. Being a barber does not equal just providing quality haircuts.
Right.
It equals so many other things. Providing quality customer service, for one. Being, very prompt. Understanding that people have somewhere to be today.
Timing.
People have, really
Timing
respecting that. Respecting your time and theirs. that because it goes both ways. You know how some people. I feel like sometimes I have been railroaded by some of my clients where they were like trying to figure out what they wanted to do at 2 a.m, and then sometimes didn't even end up doing it. So it was just like I really had to put parameters around that and really reel it in. And that's what I mean by respecting your time and theirs. Because I was like, I'm really on the phone with this woman at 2 a.m. and she has no idea what she wants to do with her hair. And then it was like, this, she didn't end up doing anything. So it was like, this was a complete waste of my time, you know. But you live and you learn, because I definitely am not doing that today. The phone is off.
Definitely be serious about how you manage your timing. There's one thing about haircut timing, actual performance of haircut timing. That's something that you have to respect also. You can't spend too much time on the service when you have a client in your chair. There should be definitely a medium that you exercise within to give you good timing. Timing that you see fit in performing a haircut, and also timing that the client sees fit for sitting for a haircut.
I agree.
These are things that I feel like is very prominent. I've witnessed barbers do 2-hour haircuts, like 2 literal 120-minute haircuts. And it's like, dude, are you cutting for like the marathon longest haircut? Like, what are you doing?
And then you really see, for me, I feel like I've rarely seen somebody take 2 hours only on the haircut. You know, I've rarely seen that, but I do see a lot of them stopping the haircut. And that is what drives that time up all the time. It's like, I'm the type of person where, because I typically do pretty long services, you know, color can be a long service depending on what they want. Braiding can be a long service depending on what it is. So for me, I just want to tackle it. I want to get it done. And also I have such a passion for hair, so that when I'm doing hair, you know, I don't feel hungry. I don't feel tired. I don't feel you know, like I have to use the bathroom, nothing.
I can go many hours.
You just kind of get in a zone. And I feel that when people's mind is just not in the game, they tend to do everything but what they're here for. It's just really interesting to me to see somebody procrastinate on making money.
Man, this wasn't procrastination. Weird. This was literal, like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I'm studying my haircut. And this is the timing for every single haircut. I'm not here to shade nobody, so I'm not throwing out no names.
No, of course.
You know,
this is
that's
your
just something,
experience
something I witnessed. I witnessed some of the most fastest haircuts. Like, bro, did you even, like, look at his haircut? Did you ask him anything? You just sat him down.
Right.
And it's like, man, bro, it's like, there's just so many different barbers that you come in contact with. So many different styles.
And my thing is, also think about how much you're charging. You know, if I'm the type of person that's really meticulous about a cut, and I'm going to take that extra time to do all these extra things, then yeah, you might want to charge a little bit more, considering you're spending more time. You know, try to equal that out.
Yeah, no, I can see if this was a situation where, you know, he's getting a facial, he's getting a massage, you know, he equated to 2 hours. No, this is a fade. A fade, you know what I'm saying? Like,
$20?
Yo, yeah, for $20. It's like, bro, I get it. You know what I'm saying? You spend 2 hours on the haircut. That's $10 an hour.
Right.
You know, that's somebody's work day. I get it, but no, like you said, no, we can do this.
That's not what I'm in it for.
Way better fashion than this.
Facts. But yeah, and I hope it was fire.
Yeah, no. This guy was a good barber.
Oh, that's good.
Real good barber.
Yeah, then he might be selling himself short.
Definitely selling himself short. And it's like situations like that where, you know, you get the opportunity to witness, and those were like the stepping stones in learning for me. You know what I'm saying? Situations like that, like you said, people stopping haircuts, you know, people not being punctual.
Right.
Those different types of barbers sort of like helped mold and shape me to the barber that I wanted to be. And also getting to see the responses that the clients were giving them. Not only my clients that are giving me, but just the barbers within the environment I'm working in, and how those clients, because we're all working within the same establishment, so we have to think of those clients like our clients also.
Right.
You know, sometimes I'm not going to be here, and somebody else cuts my client, and I'm perfectly fine with that.
Right.
And
that's always a good dynamic when all the chairs are
Yeah. Definitely keep in mind that, you know what I'm saying, you're not an octopus. You can't do everything at once. Exactly. And like we said, people's timing change. So you have to be flexible with those changes and understanding, not just physical flexibility, but like, you know what I'm saying, conscious flexibility.
I agree.
You know, just be conscious of the real world that we exist in.
Exactly. Sometimes
Because-
somebody might be in a hurry.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes, somebody might like the way so-and-so did it.
Mhm.
Or it's just all so many variables.
Yeah.
So it's okay,
Yeah,
to see your client and someone else's stress. It's okay to see, those things. I feel like it creates unnecessary friction.
This is Barber Code. For everybody who's listening, don't get too emotional over the bonds that you're establishing with clients.
Yes.
If you are actual friends with those clients, then that's something different. You evolve beyond clientele. You become somebody who's prominent in my life. We hang out with each other. We chill together. That's all cool. But business is business. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully, that bond that you establish and gain in friendship, that remains beyond haircutting. But, for business sake, be flexible.
I agree. And I feel like in this sense, the client is more scared of the chair hopping than you are.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, the client is just so anxious
Yeah.
about the whole idea, especially when it's like, because I remember when I worked at the salon in Buckhead, clients were just really, they just had a lot of anxiety about saying that they didn't like their haircut or saying that they didn't like their hair color and getting it redone by someone else. It was just like, please understand that I don't want to be to a point where my clients feel like I'm taking it personal if they get their hair done by someone else. Definitely allow yourself to experience whatever you need to experience in this lifetime, but understand that this is my profession, so I'm not taking it to the sense where, wow, you want to go trade on someone else?
Yeah.
Like, if it's like my sister or something like that, I'm just kind of, I'm not even mad about the fact they went to somebody else. I'm mad to the fact that they paid someone.
You know
Could
what
have been
it
paying
is?
me now.
I think in that situation, I think clients are aware that we hold barbering or styling near and dear to artistry.
Right.
And there's a lot of sentimental value that goes into your artistry or a person's artistry. So by them telling you or said stylist or barber that they weren't comfortable with the finish, that's
Right.
almost like a stab at someone's heart, And
Yeah.
I get that, say people tread carefully on your heart.
Right.
So but from a client standpoint also, I believe this is true. If you feel like you're getting a better haircut or you're more comfortable with a service sitting in someone else's chair, by all means,
yeah.
by all means, make
Make
that move. This is to your convenience.
Right, exactly.
We all work under the same umbrella. Now, if you're going to a completely different shop, then that's something that can be sort of argued. But, and again, we can't really do much about that. Only thing we can do is help secure, the future clients and the clients that we already have.
And I also feel that in that situation, if you're unsatisfied with something, definitely don't be afraid to say so.
Yeah.
This is a exchange for services for money. At the end of the day, nobody's doing you a favor.
Barber Code.
I would hope that it is that type of situation, because at the end, you definitely get what you pay for. Definitely be satisfied, or just tell them, a little bit more off the top, or whatever it is. Definitely coach your barber or hairstylist, especially if they have never actually done your hair before. So if this is a first time type of thing, please help them understand what you're looking for.
Exactly.
Pictures are great.
Pictures
are
amazing,
so
right? To
important
convey an
because
idea.
because if you look exactly like the photo or very, very close to it,
Yeah.
and you don't like it,
And try to
then
be serious with these inquiries.
right, be realistic.
Come to us with a real, actual picture that we can perform
Right.
on you. Don't be
Not
have the George Jefferson
extremely
on the top.
pixelated,
And
right?
you come to me with Rico Suave's hair,
Exactly. Unless you're prepared.
that's coming soon.
Right. Facts. I'm like, wait,
You know what I'm
unless
saying? That's
you're
coming soon.
prepared
That's
to
another episode in the future.
spend a little more,
Stand
right?
by.
Yeah, but that's how I feel. I feel like be very realistic in the photos that you're bringing in for consultation. And if you look very similar, there's not really much else left. I feel like people can be really nitpicky sometimes. And it's like, I'm not the person who did this. This
Right.
isn't my work. So I can't exactly
Right.
recreate. But if I can get you very close to it, it's a success.
Yeah, definitely. Client consultation is a key portion of barbering. You can't go into a haircut shooting blind. You need to understand your client, understand what they want, and understand if you can perform said services.
Right.
Certain services, aren't apt for certain people. They're not apt in said field. So you know, maybe they can pass it along to the next barber who's good at such. Like, for instance, I'm not a master of color. I'm not sound in color, so I prefer to give it to Coco in certain situations like that. So,
And that's how I feel about designs.
yeah, yeah.
Certain designs, I'm just like.
You up now in design.
I mean, before though.
Yeah.
I feel like now
before
I
was
am.
really practicing, and when it really gave me anxiety,
I think I was just like, nah, that's Z all day. Designs is for Z.
Yeah, I go off on doing designs. Yeah, that's my world. That's where I love to exist when I'm doing barbering, you know.
It shows.
I love it. Like, to be able to
Yes.
express myself in some facet of art is where I feel like I excel. You know what I'm saying?
I agree. I mean, you've done so many different designs on my own head. So,
Yeah. This
yeah.
is one of my
tried
top
and
clients
true.
right here.
Right.
She's one of my top clients.
Facts.
Definitely let me grace the canvas, put my own take on it. Like, I appreciate people like that. Like, there's people out there who's willing to take that gamble and allowing you to, like,
Yeah,
freestyle.
experiment.
You know what
I
I'm saying?
agree. I'm so thankful for my client that's like that, Angie. She's like, whatever you want to do, whatever you want to
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
I can appreciate that. You know, it's just so much. I feel like there's so much peace in being able to kind of create your own design and really seeing what you can accomplish.
Yeah.
And I've been like pretty satisfied. And I also like the templates too, you know, where they just show you a picture and you're like, okay, I get a bunch of lines. And
Yeah,
I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I find solace in that too sometimes when it looks exactly like the photo. It's
Yeah.
just like, yeah,
Yeah, I like,
good,
you know,
man.
I'm on the fence with that.
Really?
I like when people come to me with representations of what they want, but I always try to talk them into getting their own style. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, this was
Yeah,
already
like that type
created.
of
They already have a
thing.
picture of this.
Oh,
How about we
that's
create
interesting.
something unique for you, you know?
See, I'm not on that level yet. I feel like it's always more comfortable for me to do a stencil.
Nah, that 100%. That's cool.
Yeah, but I definitely think I'll probably be on that wave,
Yeah.
though.
Some people are adamant when they come, like, no, I want this one. This is
Right.
the one that I want. I'm like, cool. You have to be, you know, able to perform that if you say you can do it.
Right.
Designing is not something that's necessary to be a barber. So just because you see somebody out here designing doesn't mean you should feel like you have to design. That's It's something good to have under your belt to
Yeah.
be able to perform something that's out of the box.
Right. And it's just another level, you know,
Yeah.
just a level up. I think for me, fading and getting good at that really helped me just kind of see what other things I wanted to dive into. I just like to really absorb the knowledge, any knowledge I can about hair, any new technique. And I think that was just next on the list, you know, once I kind of really understood what type of fade I wanted to do. And just practicing that constantly, I think designs was just something that I felt like I just needed to tackle next. It was just one of those things I was interested in.
Yeah, I think I didn't even have to think twice about fading. That was something that I knew I had to get right.
Right.
You know, like it was like there was no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like,
Exactly.
fading,
If I'm gonna be a
you're
good
gonna
barber,
get this right. You know what I'm saying?
if you're
That's
gonna be
Barber Code.
a successful one, right?
Yeah, get that fade right. The
I
fade
agree.
is like one of the pinnacle of haircuts, man. Like, there's so many different styles of fading
I agree.
that you can apply to a haircut. Like,
Right.
I can't even begin to describe.
I agree. I think based off of the dynamic of a barbershop, I honestly still stand by the blurry fade. I really feel like that is an appropriate way to do a fade based off of the timing you need to have, because it's so much easier, it's so much faster. You can get a good clean cut and it's so much less time because you're not, you know, taking out that dense ass line you're putting in.
Some people can't grasp the concept of that.
Really,
Yeah.
it's so much easier for me, and
I don't think it's necessarily the technique. It's just the concept of achieving the blurry fade. I don't think they can.
I think they just don't see it yet.
Yeah, they don't see it.
Yeah, like how you create it. I
Yeah,
think
the
that's
technique
part.
is something that definitely you have to abuse the practice. Really get in there and learn the fade.
I
Get
agree.
you some people who's willing to let you practice on them. Family,
Yeah.
friends, whoever. Yourself.
Right.
Shit, I cut my own hair.
You do.
You know.
I did that once. It wasn't bad, but I'm pretty comfortable with someone else cutting my hair.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, nah. For other people, I get it. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
I'm not heading in that direction.
I can't. This is my head.
Right. If something
No, I'm
happens
lying.
and I can't get my hair. I'm coming to your house
Yeah.
with my products, my own stuff, like here.
Yeah, there's certain barbers that I see out there who I definitely be like, yeah, bro, you can cut my hair.
What?
Yeah, there's
what
been,
an honor.
there's been, come on.
What an
Nah,
honor that would be.
there's been some guys that I was like, yeah, bro, you can cut my hair. One guy who I loved to cut my hair, man, was an ABI. His name was his name was Gene, I believe.
Okay, Gene. Shout out to Gene.
Yeah. He was an instructor.
Of course.
Older guy. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I mean, he can look at a fade
That
and just be
makes
like, wow,
so
bro.
much sense.
Wow, he can like really decipher it. You know what I'm saying? He can stand here and be like, yo, hit this with a number 2 right here, knock that blend right out.
Right. It's like,
Yeah, he was
I had
dope
no
with it.
idea.
He was dope with it. I got into that point now where I can look at a fade and be like,
See what it needs.
yeah, see what it needs, see what numbers I can hit. Definitely.
Right. Same here. As far as like when I'm doing specific fades or when I feel like I have a line or something like that. Oh, when I have like a specific line, I really feel like it's good that, or it makes me feel good that I know what to take at it, you know, what to do. Because sometimes I would just, or before when I was really learning, I was like, I cannot get this line out. And I don't want to, you know, drag my time up. And I'm just kind of like, now I have kind of something that I'm sitting with, even though the person might not see it, but I see it, you know. So it was just one of those things where it helped me understand what I was doing to the point where I don't have to spend so much time analyzing or going over the same thing with something that's not going to work because that's not what the cut needs. Right. So I definitely love that. And because I changed my fade technique, it's now easier to see where I need the proper tools, where I need what, so much easier.
Definitely understanding technique is going to give you a better outlook on the overall haircut. You got to know how to approach it, where to approach it, and when to approach it. For me, I have my own breakdown of how I approach any haircut. I like to work in quadrants. You know what I'm saying? So I'll hit the left side, the back middle, then the right side, you know.
Yeah,
and
you do a complete fade on one side.
yeah, I'll do a complete fade on one side, and then
I feel like
so
I
on
have
and
to
so forth.
get my routine more consistent. I feel like for me, sometimes I can change up based off of just what I've had done previously. And I feel like it's always safe now for me to do the entire head one way and then go in and then blend out the entire head. Go in, just to keep my fade consistent, because I think during the quadrants, the only time I do quadrants is when I'm doing a temp.
Okay.
I feel like that's the time where I really get to kind of show off this one side where it's like I'm just chilling, you know, you can't see what's happening, and then I turn to the other side and it's like, damn. I do like that aspect of doing quadrants because it's like, oh, something's happening over there and it's turning out kind of good.
The reason why I like the quadrants so much is because once I finish the blend and I begin to blend in the area that I hadn't faded yet, I can sort of see where to stop using a certain guard.
Okay,
you know what
I
I'm
see
saying?
what
Like,
you're
okay,
saying.
it's getting
Right.
darker, so now fade up.
I'm at a different part of the
Exactly.
head now. Okay, that makes sense where you do kind of one after the other. I can kind of see how you keep the line
Exactly.
straight. Yeah.
So you're sort of just meeting the points. You know what I'm saying? Like,
so you just kind of create a guide on this one whole side.
Exactly. And then you're just following it all the way around.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And I found in doing that I got way faster. I'm saying, like you said, I was able to see where I needed to make certain changes, because once you've gotten to a completed side, you can sort of use that always as the reference for every quadrant.
Right.
Even the back you see, oh wow, I need to maybe fade out this denser area, or maybe I need to raise this line here. And you know, by the time you get to the end of the haircut, you're like, oh wow, you do that final spin around. You know, that spin around is key.
I love the spin around, yeah, because you can get every little thing. It's just like I see a little something right here. You can really perfect that finished look.
So you get that spin around, look at say from your perspective, then look in the camera. I said the camera.
Right.
Look in the mirror. You look in the mirror, and then you see that perspective.
Yes.
You have it home right there, and that's
agree.
going to tell you what's wrong with your haircut, or if you got like a
Exactly. That mirror is key. It is not just for the client.
No.
It's
That's a
for
tool.
you can just kind of get another perspective on the cut. Because
the tool for the
sometimes,
barbers.
that zooming in and getting it, you think you're getting it, and then you look in the mirror and it's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I kind of drag that line up way too far. You know, I feel like when you nitpick like that, that's kind of what happens.
Yeah.
So you definitely
is
got
also,
to continuously look.
Yeah. This is definitely important for hairlines. You need that for hairlines.
Oh yeah, right.
Get your mirrors right for the
Yes.
hairline.
Yes.
You know.
Definitely, and that's something that I look at too. In the mirror, I would look at like their hairline, and you get that other perspective when tightening it up with a razor, because you get to lean them back in the chair. You can kind of see their head not moving, not doing whatever things that they're subconsciously unaware of. So it's like your head was moving a little bit, but now it's flat on the surface, so I can really definitely like tune it however I need.
Laying them back.
Yes.
Yeah. I love it.
That, yeah. Then you really get a nice clean line.
That's where, like, you know what I'm saying, put the surgery glasses on.
Exactly. Scalpel.
Scalpel.
Right, they're just passing you the tools.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's where the surgery is really done. And even if it's like, it's a little bit lower or a little bit, like, it's not as sharp on one side, you can see all of that. I definitely think the last part, tightening up the hairline and really getting those little hairs is what makes a good haircut a great haircut. I feel like the first thing they're going to see is like right there, that straight line, on their hairline, the very precise edges. I think all of that is as important as the fade itself.
Yeah, definitely. That's the foundation. Yeah. Good lines, nice fade. That's what people are looking at.
Right.
Seeing if my haircut is even. If you use the shears, see if you're on point with your layers. Making sure you're following that guide. But hairlines is definitely something that people are going to take to first, because that's the first thing that you see when you look at your face. You know what I'm saying? You look at your hairline. So you definitely want to make sure that hairline is on point. Use that mirror. You know what I'm saying? That mirror is a tool for the barbers, tool for the stylists. Don't let your client get too wrapped up in using that mirror more than you do, because there's clients that'll sit there and mess up your entire haircut.
I agree.
You can turn them
just
away.
Like looking and looking.
Yeah.
I was just like, can I do your hair?
Yeah, it's like, please, I just want to finish.
Right, and then you can look and see what's happening.
Yeah, like, no, I just want to see how you doing it, bro.
You wouldn't really know. That's how I feel. I feel
You know
like you wouldn't really know what I'm doing
really
anyway.
Know. Exactly. You're not a barber, bro.
Right, exactly.
And I hate when they hit you with that. I'm a barber at home. I can cut my own hair sometimes. I cut my cousin's.
Right. What am I gonna do with that information?
Yeah, what am I gonna do with that?
It's not even a hobby for real yet.
Right,
like this is I paid money to find out. Right. It's like, please understand that it's a very different thing, and that's what I feel like that's to the connotation that people don't view barbering as a real job when they say things like that.
Yeah, I can do it myself. Well, you can fix your car yourself, but you're not going to get the same result.
Exactly. It's if you take it to the
the
dealership, right? Exactly. And I feel the same way about doing hair too, or all types of things, because we know what's good and bad for your hair. So I feel like by knowing that, we kind of know, especially when it comes to doing hair color, at your house and doing all these different things, definitely do very minimal things to your hair if you don't have at least the education. Because some people, really have gone to school and they just never pursued it.
Right.
That's fine. You actually, know what you're doing.
Right.
And you just decide not to pursue it. But for people that are just kind of doing it yourself, that's great for a hobby. That's great for just you at home. But don't take it to doing, everyone else that way, or doing that method on everyone else's hair, because you don't understand the dynamic of hair and the differences in hair. Yeah. So it's like there's so much that you got to look at before even considering to do, whatever it is that you did. Again,
right.
So much.
This saying goes for barbering more than anything that I think I've ever used it for. Different strokes are for different folks.
I agree.
Truly. Different strokes for different folks. You can't handle someone's hair the way you handled another.
Exactly.
Everybody's different. It might look the same, regardless. Like, we produce as humans different chemicals on our scalps, on our skin. You know what I'm saying? We're different. We look the same. We're all brothers and sisters here, but there's little differences that we need to adhere to.
I agree.
And, that's the differences that I think when, as a professional, you pay attention to, that separates you from the beginners, intermediates, and advanced.
And for me, I think one thing that I've taken to start doing is brushing or just kind of combing the hair a little loose. Like if they have like a set style or some type of set waving or something like that, I love to kind of just go through it once with a comb, so I can really see, not just to loosen the hair, but also to see how your hair is growing. So many people have the different cowlicks. I want to see all of that. I want to make sure I'm combing it in the direction that it's supposed to go before really taking the clippers to it, because that could be a really bad decision.
Yeah, also examining the client's scalp too, just to see if they have any abnormalities.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's different things that you can pass on, like
Exactly.
lice. And,
Yes, and impetigo.
yeah,
That's a big one, because I feel like people think it's dandruff
Yeah.
all the time. And then the next thing you know, it's highly contagious. And when you don't use proper practice, or when you don't have the correct barbicide or all these disinfectants, you can pass that to another client.
Definitely.
It is contagious.
Barber Code. So yes, prep your clients. You know what I'm saying, have a consultation with your clients. Understand your clients. Get to know them. So you can get to know their haircut. You know, so you can have a better product at the end of your service.
I agree.
You know, and I'm going to say it every time you hear me speak. That's going to be the difference. You know what I'm saying? Failure and success. You know what I'm saying, assume the position of being a barber. And that's going to show you who you are and how you're going to fare throughout this profession, or any profession. This stands for anybody who's in entrepreneurship. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
and you have to have some type of education behind all of that.
Yeah.
It doesn't just come to you. You don't just get, great at it
Yeah.
right off the bat. It's a lot of commitment and a lot of training that
Yeah.
comes into it. You just have to commit that time.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that's really the difference between people who are successful, or people who are on another level in their business or in their career or craft. It's time and what they chose to do with that time. Whether they are, consistently building themselves, whether they're consistently taking that extra precaution to better their craft, or whether they're just saying, oh, I got this, I'm just going to keep doing the same thing. I'm not really thinking about growing my business. I'm not really thinking about, just imagine that. Imagine thinking like that. Just saying, I'm good with the 5 clients I have.
Right.
Not wanting more clients, or not wanting more, not really being hungry for what comes next. I think that is the difference.
Yeah. So aim for the future, people. This
Have
has
those
been
goals. Oh, I just said have those goals.
Oh yeah. This has been a very special time for us. We got to share our very first episode of Barber Code.
Yeah.
This is something that I wanted to do for a long time, and I got my girl Coco to jump on board with me. I'm saying,
I'm here for it.
help me co-host, and take this thing off into the future. I know we're gonna have a lot of different topics, a lot of different perspectives, our own opinions, and hopefully at some point in the future we can hear from you guys out there, get your perspectives as clients and as barbers and stylists. And if you're an entrepreneur out there, if you can shed some light on the situation, give some insight, we like that too, man. We appreciate you guys out there.
Right.
So
I agree.
peace to you. Everybody be safe.
Thanks so much, guys.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Z the Barber here from Barber Code. And if you're feeling our content, please hit that subscribe button below.
And make sure you hit that bell too, so you know when we drop in our next vid. And if you have any suggestions or comments, make sure you drop that in the chat below.